Paddington came to fretwork fairly late, but once he discovered its joys, he certainly made up for lost time. He soon became quite good at cutting out shapes, and he made several pipe racks for Mr. Brown, some decorated trinket boxes for Mrs. Bird and Mrs. Brown, and some nameplates, one for Jonathan and one for Judy. But it was when he turned his attention to making a jigsaw puzzle as a present for Mr. Gruber that things really started to move. According to the instructions, all you needed was a sheet of plywood, some glue, an old picture, and a rolling pin. Mr. Brown had some plywood in his shed. Mrs. Brown and Mrs. Bird were out for the day, and as luck would have it, he'd seen their neighbor, Mr. Curry, put some old paintings out by his dustbin that very morning. Paddington felt sure that anything Mr. Curry threw out must be very unwanted indeed. And soon he was hard at work. All in all, Paddington felt very pleased with his jigsaw. Some of the pieces were more difficult to fit together than others, but gradually the picture began to take shape. Mr. Curry's painting was a reproduction of the Laughing Cavalier, and although he seemed to be smiling more out of the side of his face than he had before, it was still a very good likeness. Paddington felt sure Mr. Gruber would be more than delighted when he saw it. But before he had time to do any more, he was startled by a loud knocking noise.
Can I come in, Bear? I'd like to use your telephone. I've just been robbed. And I must say it's not surprising if everyone goes out for the day.
Oh, I've been here, Mr. Curry. I've been busy making a present.
A present? That's very kind of you, Bear. Fancy you going to all that trouble just for me.
Oh, I haven't been to any trouble for you, Mr. Curry. I wouldn't. I mean...
There's no need to say another word, Bear. I like jigsaws. It's just what I need to take my mind off things. You probably won't believe this, but I stood some things outside my back door while I was decorating the hall, and someone has stolen a priceless painting.
I believe you, Mr. Curry.
Bear? What are you doing, Bear? I can't see to do my jigsaw. Funnily enough, it's not unlike... Bear! What's the meaning of this? This is my picture, Bear! Come back, Bear!
Priceless? Mr. Gruber gazed at the jigsaw. Did you say priceless, Mr. Brown? No, said Paddington. Mr. Curry did. Ah, that's different. If I'm not mistaken, this came off the lid of a chocolate box. That isn't the name of the artist in the corner. It's the manufacturer. I suggest we buy another box, Mr. Brown. Then Mr. Curry can have a new picture. You and I can share the chocolates with the family. And as for me, I really shall have something priceless. I don't suppose there are many genuine Bear's jigsaw puzzles in the world. Unless, of course, you are thinking of going into production in a big way, Mr. Brown. Oh, no, Mr. Gruber, said Paddington. If I did that, I think it might be the unkindest saw cut of them all.